Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. It's been a long time we studied. Today, we want to look at fraction, and under fraction, we want to look at order of operation. Order of operation. That is the BODMAS. But before we talk about something about the BODMAS, we have to know these basics operation in fraction, which is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But in our previous videos, we've talked about addition and subtraction of fractions. We've also talked about the ordering of fraction, how to convert from improper to mixed, and also into decimals. So visit our previous videos, because in the operations of what we are about to do, we will need to convert fractions from one to another. So before we look at the BODMAS itself, let's look at multiplication and division of fraction. Now, with the multiplication of fraction, we don't find LCM, okay? Unlike the addition and subtraction, where you need to find your LCM of the denominators before you proceed the calculation. With the multiplication, you don't find LCM. You multiply the numerator by the numerator, the denominator by the denominator, and you simplify if possible. That is the multiplication of fraction. So what is the numerator here? 1. Numerator is 4. So multiply. So this is going to give me 4, because 1 times 4 is 4. Then I have my denominator as 3 and 5. So you multiply the denominators, which is going to give you 15. Since I can't simplify, then this becomes my final answer, which is 4 out of 15. And that is the multiplication of fraction. You don't find LCM, you multiply the top numbers, that is the numerators, by one another, by each other, then the denominators also, just as you've done easily. So if you look at this, we can't simplify or we can't break it down. So what do? You just leave your answer like that. But if you can simplify, you have to simplify. Let's look at the second one. You have 2 whole number 1 over 3. This is a mixed fraction. And it's a mixed fraction because you have a number and a fractional part. We've explained a whole lot about fractions in terms of mixed fraction in our previous video. Visit there and you get more understanding on it. Now, anytime you are solving for fraction, either addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, and there is a mixed fraction, convert the mixed fraction into improper fraction. And by so doing, we are going to multiply the whole number by the denominator, and you add the numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus the numerator is 1, and that is going to give you 7 over 3 is 7. Then you have times. Then also convert this one into mixed fraction, into improper fraction, since it is already in mixed fraction. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, which is over the 2. So we've converted each of the mixed fraction to improper. What do? With multiplication of fraction, you don't find LCM. Multiply through, that gives you an answer. But we can see that there is 3 here and 3 here. We can cancel out. If you know you can't cancel, or multiply before you cancel. So the cancellation is done vertically or diagonally. You can cancel this way or this way. So since 3 can cancel out 3, I'll say 3 here 1, 3 here 1. So I'll multiply 7 times 1, which is 7. And I'll multiply 1 times 2, which is 2. Now look at your answer. What is your answer? Your answer is improper fraction. Do not leave your answer in improper fraction. Convert it back to mixed fraction. So that means you are going to ask yourself, 2 go into 7 how many times? To go into it 3 times, leaving a remainder of what? Of 1. So we are going to get this is equal to 3 to 6. So 3 times, leaving a remainder of 1. So the answer for this multiplication is 3 whole number 1 over 2. Now let's look at division. With a division, when you are solving fraction involving division, there is something we have to know. that number 1, if there is a whole number, before not even only division, but in terms of fraction, every whole number is over 1. We have to take good note of that. Every whole number in terms of fraction is over 1. So if you are solving fraction and there is a whole number, that whole number is out of 1. Now when it comes to division, division is also just like the multiplication. You don't find LCM, but rather we change the division sign to multiplication. Once you change the division sign to multiplication, the fraction on your immediate right, the fraction on your immediate right takes its reciprocal, meaning the denominator of that fraction becomes the numerator, and the numerator of that fraction becomes the denominator. So let's look at example 1. It says 8 divided by 1 over 4 is what? Now remember, we just said in terms of fraction, every whole number is over 1. So this 8 is out of 1, which is going to give you 8 over 1. Good. Now we have division. To work with division, we have to change the division sign into multiplication. Once you change the division sign into multiplication, the fraction on your immediate right, so the fraction on my immediate right is 1 over 4. So this 1 over 4 will reciprocate, meaning the 4, which is the denominator, will be our numerator, and the 1, which is the numerator, will become our denominator, which is going to be 4 over 1. So it will be upside down. But the fraction on your left will be as it is, which is 8 over 1. What did we say about multiplication of fraction? You don't find LCM. Multiply the numerator by the numerator, the denominator by the denominator. So 8 times 4 is 32. And 1 times 1 is 1, which means my answer is 32. That is what you have to do when solving for fraction involving division. Fraction involving division. Let's look at number 2. Number 2, you can see that there are mixed fractions. So since there are mixed fractions, the first thing I'm to do is to convert from mixed fraction to improper fraction. That is the very first thing. So to do that, multiply the whole number by the denominator, add the numerator. So 3, 7, 21 plus this is 22. So that gives me 22 over 7 divided by, I am also going to change this one into improper fraction. Whole number multiply denominator. So 4 times 7 is 28. So if 4 times 7 is 28, then plus 5 is going to give you 33. So 28 plus 5 is going to give you 33. So we have 33 over 7. Now what do? Since you are dividing, change the division to multiplication. So this division sign will change to multiplication. Once I change this to multiplication, the fraction on my right will reciprocate, which is going to give me 7 over 33. But this fraction will be as it is. So 22 over 7. Remember, you can cancel out before you multiply, or multiply, then you simplify your final answer. So I can say 7 will go into 7, 1. 22 and 11, there is a number that can divide. 22 and 33. So I can say 11 into here, 2. And 11 into this, 3. You cancel vertically or diagonally. Vertically or diagonally. So now that I've cancelled out, I have 2 times 1, which is 2, and I have 1 times 3, which is 3. So this fraction is a proper fraction. 2 over 3 is a proper fraction. So I have nothing to do again because I've already simplified. And that is what we say division of fractions are. With the last one, you do it the same. Every whole number is over 1. So this is over 1. Division sign changes to multiplication, which will affect the fraction on my immediate right, which is going to take the reciprocal of it. The fraction on my left maintains or remains the same. Can I cancel out? If I can, let me do before I multiply. If I can't, multiply. So since we cancel vertically or diagonally, the 2 can cancel the 4. So 2 here 1, 2 here 2. So 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 2 is 10. And this becomes my answer. And this is how we solve for multiplication and division of fraction. This is just a summarize something that we've talked about so that we can be able to solve the BODMAS, applying BODMAS in fraction. So let's look at how to apply the BODMAS in fraction. In applying the BODMAS, we have to obey the order of operation. Order. You can't jump to the next one. You have to obey the order. So the first one is B, which we all know is the bracket. The O is off, which is the OF. It could be in the expression, which means multiplication. The off means multiplication. So we solve for the bracket first. After bracket, we solve for off if there is OF in the question. Then you go for division, which is the D. Then you go for multiplication. Then you add before you subtract. If you interchange them, you will get your answer, but the answer will be wrong. But you have to use it orderly from one step to the other. And the first one is bracket. Let's take the first example. We have the first example as 1 whole number 2 over 3 minus the bracket off. So once I've seen it in a bracket, I'll tackle the bracket first, because that is the bracket that begins. But you can see that all these are mixed fraction. So quickly change them. Quickly change them into what? Improper fraction before you can solve. So I'll change this one into improper fraction. This into improper fraction is going to give me 1 times 2 is 3 plus 2 is going to give me 5. So I have this as 5 over 3 minus, then I have a bracket. 1 times 4 is 4 plus this you have 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 you have plus 3 that's going to give you 7. So you have 7 over 4 as your first number in the bracket. Then you have division, so you bring your division sign. Then you also change this one into improper. This time this is 16 plus 5. So 16 plus 5 is 21, because 8, 2 is 16. So 16 plus your numerator 5 is going to give you 21. So we have 21 over 8. Now, let's continue with the solution. So we've changed this to improper fraction. Now we solve the one in the bracket first. Remember what we just did. If you are dividing, if there's fraction in the fraction you are dividing, change the division to multiplication. And the fraction on your immediate right, you write it reciprocal. So I have 5 over 3 minus, this fraction will not change, will be maintained. Division will change to multiplication, which I will reciprocate this fraction, which is going to be 8 over 21. If I can multiply, multiply. If you can divide, divide. So I can say 7 here 1, 7 into 21, 3, because 3, 7 is 21. 4 here 1, 4 into this 2. So I have 5/3 minus. Now after simplifying, I have 1 here, I have 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Then what do I do? I'll subtract. Because now that I've cleared the bracket, I'm left with only the subtraction. Now with the subtraction, you have to find LCM. When it comes to subtraction and addition, we need LCM. We have to use LCM. But since the denominators are the same, just pick one and do with the numerators. So picking one will give me 3. Subtracting this will give me 3. Because the denominators are the same, I don't need LCM. Since the denominators are the same, we don't need LCM. And if we are in basic 7, this fraction will be like fraction. We've treated like fraction and unlike fraction in our previous topics. So you subtract, you have this. So what do? You simplify. 3 will go into this of 1, 3 here 1. What do you have? You have 1 as your final answer. So you have to always apply the order of operation when you are solving for fraction involving 2 or more operation sum. Let's look at the next one. Also you have what? You have mixed fraction. Convert the mixed fraction into improper fraction. Let's do that. So when you do this, you are going to get 7/3. So you record it down, 7/3. Remember it is in the bracket. Let's do this. You're also going to get 9/2 because this and this is 8 plus the 1 is 9/2. Then you have this one, you also change into improper. This and this is 4, so 41/5. Once you convert into improper fraction, apply the operation BODMAS. BODMAS. Is there a bracket? Yes. If there is a bracket, solve the bracket first. Don't say because there's a division, so no. The first one should be solved first. So the bracket that I have, I'm going to tackle it first. And the bracket is addition. So you apply the idea, the knowledge in addition or fraction here by finding the LCM of the two denominators. So with this one, I will need LCM. So we will need the LCM of 2 and 6 since they are the LCM. And the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. Most of the times, if the denominators are huge and you don't know the exact LCM, what you should do is that multiply the two denominators. 3 times 2 is 6. Now you ask yourself this question. 3, which is the first denominator, will go into 6 how many times? So 3 will go into 6 how many times? You can see that 3 will go into 6 2 times. So you use the 2 to multiply the numerator on 3. What's the numerator on 3? The numerator on 3 is 7. So if 3 will go into 6 2 times, it will multiply the 2 by 7. And 2 by 7 is 14. Plus, remember this is in a bracket. And you are solving the one in the bracket. The sign I have is plus, so I bring it here. Then what you did here, you do same here. This time, ask yourself that 2 will go into 6. How many times? 2 will go into 6 3 times. Sorry. 2 will go into 6 3 times. So we are going to use the 3 to multiply the numerator on 2, which is 9. So 2 times the 2 that will go into 6 3 times, we will use the 3 to multiply 9. And 3 times 9 is what? Is 27. So now what do? Put the 2 together, divide by 6. Please, with the addition here, don't divide this. Don't say 3 can go here, so I'll divide. If this was multiplication, then we can do that. But since it is addition, or even if it is subtraction, don't cancel out. So first add the numerators. And 14 plus 7 is going to give us 41 divided by 6. So this is what we have in the bracket. Then we have the division sign, 41 over 5. If you add 14 plus 27, 7 plus 4 is 11. So you write 1, you carry 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus the remainder, 46. And this becomes division of fraction, which we just did here. The division sign should be changed to multiplication. Once you do that, the fraction on your immediate right should reciprocate, which is going to be 5 over 41. The fraction here remains the same. So I have 41 over 6. The fraction here remains the same, while the one here reciprocates. 41, 41. Remember, we cancel diagonally or vertically. So I'll cancel out this. What am I left with? I'm left with 5 over 6. This is an improper fraction. So this is a proper fraction, sorry. So I'll leave my answer as 5 over 6. And this is how you multiply with the board mass. We'll do up to 4. Then this one will be a homework, an assignment. Do it, drop it at the comment section, or you drop it on the WhatsApp number that I'll give you for you to be assessed. The winner or the one who gets it correct will be announced the next time we meet here. See you as we post that one for you. Let's look at number 3. Number 3 says you have 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4. Or 2 over 5 divided by 1 whole number 3 over 5. So look through. Do you have a mixed fraction? If yes, rewrite the work or the statement whilst you change the mixed fraction into improper. So since I have mixed fraction here, I will not start solving. Let me first change it into improper. So I have 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4. You just bring your off. 2 over 5 divided by, change this one into improper. 515 plus 1, 8 over 5. Now let's apply the BODMAS. Is there a bracket? No. So we skip. Do you see off? If we are seeing off, then it means where the off is, the numbers, the fraction on the left and the right of the off should be multiplied, because the off means multiplication. So this 3 over 4 and this 2 over 5, I'll multiply, which is the 3 over 4 of 2 over 5. So what do? We are going to say 1 over 2 plus the bracket of 3 over 4. This is multiplication. So I'll say times 2 over 5 divided by 8 over 5. Can we cancel out? Let's see. 2 here 1, 2 here 2. Can we cancel out again? We can't. So we have 1 over 2 plus 3 times 1, we have 3. 2 times 5, we have 10. Then we have minus 8 over 5. Now that we've cleared the off, we've removed the off. Now look at what we have again. So let's start again. Bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Is there a bracket? No. Is there off? No. Is there division? Yes. So since there is division, tackle the division next. So this is where the division is. So let's tackle the division. So we have this 1 over 2 plus, remember division, the division sign will change. Once it changes, fraction of my right reciprocates. So I have 3 over 10 times 8 over 5. So it's going to reciprocate as 5 over 8. What do? Let's see if I can simplify. Of course I can. 5 here 1, 5 here 2. So I have 1 over 2 plus 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 8 is 16. It is order of operation. You have to follow it step by step by step by step. Then you get your answer. Now since this is addition of fraction, what do? I need my LCM. So look at the denominators, 2 and 16. What is the LCM of 2 and 16? If you don't know that the LCM of 2 and 16 is 16, then just multiply 2 by 16. Whatever you get also becomes the LCM. But that number is not the least though. So the LCM for this and this is 16. So I'm going to divide all by 16. 2 will go into 16 how many times? 8. So this 8, I'll use it to multiply the numerator on 2, which is 8. 16 will go into itself 1. And I'll multiply this by 1, which is 3. If I put these two together, what do we have? We have 11 over 16. Can I cancel out? No. So this becomes my final answer, since it is proper fraction. And this is how we solve fractions in order of operation. This one is for both new curriculum and old curriculum. So we blended everything here in solving this. Let's look at the number 4. The number 4 involves fraction upon fraction. So let's concentrate here. Anytime you solve and there is a fraction upon fraction or fraction on fraction, you just take your time. Solve the numerator separately whilst you solve the denominators separately. So I'm going to leave this for you while you solve this and provide the answer at the comment section, or you send it to the WhatsApp number I'll drop after class. Now look at this. Remember, if you are solving and there is a mixed fraction, change it into improper. So let's change this into improper. 339, that is going to give me 10 over 3. Remember, I'm working for the ones at the top. Minus 224 plus this is 5 over 2. Now they are saying that all this is divided by this. So all this is divided by this. So solve the numerator the way you have been taught. Just solve the numerator and you solve the denominator if we are to solve. So since this one is subtraction, what do? I need my LCM. The LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. 3 will go into 6 2 times. I'll use the 2 to multiply the numerator here. And 2 10 is 20. The sign here is minus. 6 will go in, 2 will go into 6 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. So the numerator is what I've solved to get this. This is the numerator for this fraction. And this numerator is also a fraction. So this numerator is what I've solved to get this. And all this is over 5 over 2. So let me keep on solving my numerator. 20 minus 15 will give me 5. So I have 5 over 6. And this is the numerator for all this fraction, which is divided by the numerator 5 over 2. So this is 5 over 6, all divided by 5 over 2. Now this 5 over 6 divided by this 5 over 2 can be written as, or is the same as, 5 over 6, which is the numerator, divided by the denominator, 5 over 2. And this gives you division of fraction, or fractions involving division. What were you told? You were told that if dividing, change the sign to multiplication. So this is going to be multiplication. Once you change to multiplication, reciprocate this fraction, which is 2 over 5. The fraction here becomes the same. So you have 2 over 5 after reciprocating, you have 5 over 6. Can I cancel out? 5 here 1, 5 here 1. 2 here 1, 2 here 3. So after cancelling, what did I get? 1, I had 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And this becomes my answer. Once you take it step by step, solve the numerator, solve the denominator, then you go. The last one, you have multiplication, you have addition. So apply the BODMAS. Take the numerator. Do you have bracket? No. Do you have off? No. Do you have division? No. Do you have multiplication? Yes. So solve the multiplication. There you go. So let's solve it and drop it to this WhatsApp number as we did previously last year. You solve and you drop your answer here or at the comment section. The one who gets it correct will be announced the next time a video is being uploaded. The name is Christian. See you next time. Next time when we meet, we'll talk about fraction spent and fraction left. The name is Christian.